Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Bostic, Superintendent of Schools for Stafford Municipal School District, and I'm here with some news that you can use along with your family to keep you in the know. I'd like to welcome you back to another special presentation of at-home learning. Our mission statement in Stafford MSD is that 100% of our students are going to graduate college or career ready without remediation, and that means you at home too. Today, you're going to hear from some of the magnificent educators of Stafford Middle School who will walk you through virtual lessons. For more updates and further instructions, feel free to visit our website at www.staffordmsd.org. We'd like to thank all of our parents, the media personnel that helped to make this possible, community leaders, faculty, and staff members of the SMSD community, as we continue to stay connected throughout these tough times.
Hi, Stafford Middle School students. It's Miss Gail. We are reaching out to you today to tell you how much we miss you. We miss seeing you in the hallways, hearing your laughter, hearing those creative ideas, and listening to those great questions you come up with every day. We really miss everything you bring to the building. It's not the same without having you there on campus. We hope that everyone is staying safe and utilizing our online platforms for learning. And don't hesitate to reach out to any of us if you need us. We really do miss you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Coach Stevens, and I am the secondary math specialist here at Stafford MSD.
And I am Ms. Cole Gallo, an 8th grade math and Algebra 1 teacher here at Stafford Middle School.
The topic that we're going to be working on today is adding and subtracting integers. Now, the reason we chose this topic is actually introduced in the 6th grade. It's also taught in the 7th grade, but integers are a prerequisite for all of the 8th grade, algebra, geometry, even in pre-cal and calculus. So integers is a topic that's going to be used from 6th grade throughout the student's career in mathematics.
In order to teach you how to add or subtract integers, we'll be going through 4 learning objectives. Objective 1. Identify the signs. Objective 2, determine if the signs are the same or different. Objective 3, determine if you add or subtract the integer. And objective 4, determine the sign of the answer after adding or subtracting. At the end of the lesson, you will be given a success criteria that will help you understand and determine if you truly comprehended today's lesson. Given 4 integer problems, you should be able to correctly identify 3 correct answers.
So, first thing we want to do is, I'm going to put 4 integer problems up here on the board for you, and I want you to just do the very best you can. So the first one is going to be -4 minus 2. Okay, then we have 3 minus 5, -5 plus 2, and finally -2 plus 6. Now, I know you guys have not learned how to do this, but using any prior knowledge that you have, we want you to just go ahead and make an attempt to try and solve these problems the very best that you can. All right, so I'm going to actually go ahead and teach you guys how to solve adding and subtracting integers, and we're going to use a number line to help us to be able to do this. Now, as I put these problems on the board on the number line, Ms. Cole is actually going to use the number line on the floor, and she's going to move and demonstrate along with us as I walk on the board. Okay? Now, our first example is going to be -3 minus 2. All right, so here we go. So drawing our number line, when we're doing integers, we're always going to start at 0. All right, so we have -1. From everything that you know in your prior knowledge, when we have a negative number, which direction are we going to move on the number line when we have a negative number? Okay, all right, I'm looking at the chat box. Chris has his hand up. Chris says that we're going to move to the left. Okay, awesome job, Chris. So we're going to start here and we're going to move 3 spaces to the left. All right, and then -2. Now, I need you to understand -2 is going to have the same behavior and characteristic on the number as a negative. So negative moved us in the left direction, so minus 2 is going to continue to move us in the same direction. And Ms. Cole is also moving in the same direction. So Ms. Cole, where did you end up at on your number line?
-5.
Awesome. And that's where we ended up here at -5. So we had -3 minus 2. And the key thing that we really want you guys to take away out of this is when you're looking at your number, -3, and then you have -2. A minus behaves in the same characteristic as a negative, which means it's going to move our numbers to the left on the number line. And we ended up at -5. So -3 minus 2 gives us -5. Okay? That's our first example, and let's see how you guys do on the next one. All right, guys, you guys did really well on the first example. So I'm going to go ahead and put the second example up here for you. -1 minus 5. Okay, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to try to solve this on your own, see what you come up with. Now, I really want you to go back and think about what we did on our first example. Okay, so again, I'm going to give you guys time to try to solve this. Look over here on the screen to see who's logging in with their hands up. Okay, oh, we have Charles logging in from Dallas. Okay, Charles from Dallas, go ahead. Tell us what did you come up with. Wow, great job, Charles. We got some mathematicians out there. Charles told us it was -6. -6 is the correct answer. Charles, so I'm looking at the chat that he's typing in over here for me. So Charles said first he took -1, he started at 0, and he moved to the left -1. Awesome job. Okay, next he has -5, and he has a little side note for me. He said -5 has the same characteristic as -5, which means we're going to go to the left. So we're continuing to move in the direction to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left, and we ended up at -6.
That's where I ended up too, Coach.
Awesome. So Ms. Cole also, on her number line, she ended up at -6 with us. So guys, it looks like you guys are really starting to understand the concept of adding and subtracting these integers. Great job.
Pause. Not you, Coach. Our learners at home. Let's take a quick mental break and discuss our learning objectives we have covered thus far. Objective 1, identify the signs. Here in this problem, we have a -1 and a -5. Our signs are both negative. Objective 2, determine if they're the same or different. In this problem, -1 minus 5, the signs are the same.
All right, guys, so that's 2 examples, and Ms. Cole has gone over our first 2 learning objectives. So at this point, you guys are ready to try something on your own. So I'm going to go ahead and write these problems up here for you. We got -2 minus 1, and let's see, the other problem we wanted to do is -8 minus 5. Okay, so we're going to give you guys a little bit of time at home. Go ahead and work these problems by yourself, and then we'll check the call in and see who's calling in with the correct answer and give everyone an opportunity.
I have Kendall from Alabama on the line.
Okay, Kendall from Alabama. We're looking at the first one. Kendall, glad you could join us. All right, what did you come up with for an answer? Ms. Cole, what did Kendall say she got for her answer?
-3.
Kendall, that is awesome, -3. So again, going through the process, we have -2, so we're moving to the left, and then we have -1, and remember, a minus sign has the same characteristic and behavior as a negative, which is going to move us to the left, so that gives us a final answer of -3. Kendall from Alabama, great job, great job. Ms. Cole, who else do you have on the line trying to answer questions for us?
I have John from Washington.
John from Washington. Is that Washington, D.C. or Washington, the state?
Washington State.
Washington, the state. We got John from Washington, the state. How you doing, John? All right, John, tell us. What did you come up with for this one? What did John have for us, Ms. Cole?
Negative 13.
Wow. Guys, this is awesome. Negative 13. I've never had so many people grab this concept so quickly. John from Washington, that is excellent. So again, we're starting at 0 and we're moving 8 units to the left. Why are we moving to the left? Because it's a negative. So negative is on the left on the number line. So when we have a negative, we're going to move to the left. And then we have minus 5. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Minus 5 has the same characteristic on the number as negative. So negative moves us to the left. Minus 5 is also going to move us to the left. So negative 8 to the left, minus 5 more to the left. We add those two together, and that gives us a final answer of negative 13. Again, I've never seen so many people grasp this concept so quick. You guys that are logging on, and we must be getting the GT students across the country that's logging on with us. This is an awesome, awesome job, guys. Okay, great job. All right, guys, so now we're at the part of the lesson where we're going to do a error analysis. What error analysis is going to do is like a formative assessment check for understanding. So we have this problem up on the board here. Negative 7 minus 2 equals negative 5. This is a very common mistake. All right, so for everyone out there watching, I want to give you a second, see if you can analyze and look at this problem and tell me what's wrong with this problem. Where did they go wrong? So we're giving you a chance to think about it at home, see if you can figure this out with us. As I turn to Ms. Cole, okay, who do you have for us?
I have Chelsea from Louisiana on the line.
Okay, Chelsea from Louisiana. How you doing, Chelsea? Hope everything's going well for you over there in Louisiana. So Chelsea, can you tell me what we did wrong in this problem? Okay. What did Chelsea say for us, Ms. Cole?
She noticed that you subtracted 7 and 2, but she think you should add.
Okay. All right. What Chelsea said, for those who didn't get an opportunity to hear that, Chelsea expressed to us that right here we subtracted 2. Okay, but Chelsea said that we should have added the 2. And what Chelsea described for us is that if we follow everything that we've been doing, here we have negative 7, which moves us to the left, and then we have minus 2. And remember, a minus sign has the same characteristic and behavior on the number as a negative, which moves us to the left. So anytime we're moving in the same direction, we're going to add the numbers. So Chelsea is 100% correct, and this correct answer should have been negative 7 minus 2. As Chelsea said, we should have added that and come up with negative 9. Great job. All right, everyone. So we have been just blazing through these integers. Again, I don't know if we're just getting all the GT students calling in, but you guys are awesome. Now, here's a discussion question that I want to pose to you. So far, the problems that we've had, the signs have been the same. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to think about this. What do you think would happen if we had a problem with different signs? Okay, just think about everything that we've done. I want you to process this, write it down at home, okay, but really think about this. What do you think is going to happen to our problem when we have signs that are different? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put our next example up. If I were to give you this problem, what does this look like on your number line? What does this look like for a final answer? Go ahead, take a moment at home to try and answer this final question for us, okay? All right, so we have negative 6 and positive 4. Negative 6 plus 4. All right, guys, we're going to start at 0, and we're going to follow our same process on the number line. Negative 6 is going to move us in which direction? That hasn't changed. So negative 6, we're going to go 6 units to the left. And then as we follow Miss Cole, you went how far to the left? Miss Cole also went 6 units to the left. Now, here we have plus 4. Prior knowledge, guys. Which direction do you think we're going to move on the number line now that we have a positive? Wow, awesome. So positive is going to move us to the right on the number line. So we're going to start here and we're going to go 4 units to the right. 2, 3, 4 units to the right. Okay, so that's going to give me plus 4 here and minus 6 here. And where did we end up at? Negative 2. So stop and think for a second. The signs were different. Here I had a negative, here I had a positive. The signs were different. So we went in different directions on the number line. And if we follow Miss Cole started and she went 6 units to the left, and Miss Cole came back 4 units to the right, and she also ended at negative 2. So guys, when the signs were the same, we went in the same direction and we added our numbers. This time we had an example, the signs were different. So we went in opposite directions. We went to the left, then we came back to the right, and we ended up subtracting our numbers. So when the signs were the same, the numbers were added, and when the signs were different, the numbers were subtracted. So I'm going to give you guys this next example and see with this information how you guys will do on your own.
All right, we're back. And the next problem we're going to solve is negative 3 plus 5. All right, as Coach Stevens taught us, the first thing we do is identify our signs in our problem. So our sign for 3 is negative, and our sign for 5 is positive, which is our first learning objective, to identify the signs. Number 2, determine if the signs are the same or different. Here I have a negative 3, here I have a positive 5. I notice that both of those signs are different. All right, when the signs are different, what do we do? Do we have any callers on the phone, Coach Stevens?
Let's see. Wow, we got phone is blowing up. Okay, let's go ahead and take, looks like we have Michael, local here from Stafford.
Michael from Stafford, I'm so glad you're tuned in with us today. Are our signs the same or are they different?
Okay, Mike says that you have 2 different signs there.
All right, Mike, and when our signs are different, what do we do?
Okay, all right. He says that you're going to move in opposite directions on your number line.
Exactly, Mike. So we always start at the number 0. I am going to move left 3 spaces. That's 1, 2, 3. I'll end up here at negative 3. All right, and from negative 3, we're going to move to the right 5 spaces. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we end here at a positive 2. So our answer to negative 3 plus 5 is a positive 2.
Okay, Michael had that. Michael said that.
Good job, Michael. All right, in our last example, we had a negative 3 and a positive 5. In this example that we're getting ready to do, we have a positive 2 and a negative 6. All right, so our first step is to identify the signs. Well, I noticed that this 2 does not have a sign. When a number does not have a sign, we automatically know that this is a positive number. So I'm going to go ahead and write a positive n. And now I'm able to identify my 2 signs. Okay, so 2 is a positive 2, and on 6, it's a negative 6. So my signs are a positive and a negative. I notice that both of those signs are different, and when we have different signs, we subtract. So using the number line, we're getting ready to solve this problem. We're going to start at 0, and this time, I am going to move which way, Coach?
All right, who do we have in here? Wow, Stafford is doing good. Okay, we have, looks like this is Stefan. Okay, Stefan from Stafford.
All right, Stefan from Stafford. Which way do I move when my number is positive? All right, Stefan, you said to the right? Good job, you're right. So starting at 0, we're moving to the right, 2 spaces, 1, 2. And I end up at the number positive 2. All right, now Stefan, I have a negative 6. In which direction do I move?
He says on his chat line, he says he thinks you're going to go to the left, but he's not sure.
Exactly, I am going to move to the left. So, starting at positive 2, I'm moving to the left 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I end up at negative 4. So now I know that a positive 2 minus 6 equals a negative 4.
All right, everyone. We're going to, as we always do in the lesson, we're going to go back to our learning objectives. And our first learning objective was identify the signs of the number. So in the last problem that we did, we identified that we had different signs. So the next learning objective was to compare the signs. All right, so now that we see we have positive, negative, we know we have different signs. We want to know, are we going to add or subtract our numbers? So we've come up with, when the signs are the same, we're going to add the numbers. Okay, and when the signs are different, we're going to subtract the numbers. And let me reiterate this here, negative 4 minus 2. Okay, negative 4 minus 2. This is a negative sign, this is a subtraction sign. But remember, a subtraction sign has the same behavior and characteristic on a number as a minus sign. So we look at these as being the same because they're both going to move us in the same direction to the left. If we were to change this, now we're going to have 4 to the left and 2 to the right. So as always, when our signs are different, we are going to subtract. And when our signs are the same, we're going to add. So guys, to be proficient at this lesson, if you truly understand your left from your right, you are going to be a master at adding and subtracting integers, because everything we do is simply moving to the left or to the right on your number line. Okay, so I want you all to take a minute and think about that. Put that in your own words. Write that in whatever way makes sense to you for adding and subtracting your integers. When the signs are the same, we're going to add. When the signs are different, we're going to subtract. And our final answer, which was our last part of our learning objective, was to be able to determine what the sign is going to be of the answer. So if you notice, every time we do this, this answer is negative 2. The biggest number was negative, so our final answer is negative. If I had this, negative 3 plus 5, we would go 3 to the left, and then we would come back 5 to the right, and we would end up at positive 2, which is the bigger number. So the last part of our learning objective is, after we add or subtract, we're always going to take the sign of the largest number. So that's how you know what your final answer is going to be. Whether it's positive or negative, it is always going to be based upon the sign of your largest number. So what we're going to do right now is do an activity. This is going to allow you guys to have some fun out there at home and reinforce our skills with adding and subtracting integers.
Hey guys, it's Miss Frazier. I miss a lot of things about my students, but what comes to mind is missing walking down the hallway, giving them high fives, and these TikTok challenges they give me every day. I'm still working on it, but when you come back, I'll be ready. Make sure you guys stay safe. Make sure you feel free to reach me anytime. Bye.
Now we are getting ready to apply what we have learned on adding and subtracting integers in this next activity. We are getting ready to play the game 6. The game 6 is directly aligned with our learning objectives 1 and 2. We will be identifying the signs of each problem and stating whether they are the same or different.
Since we're going to make sure that we're practicing social distance, and Ms. Cole's not able to sit right next to me in pencil snatching distance, we came up with a very creative idea so that we can continue to play this game in this format and still be a lot of fun. So we've written the problems on the board, and instead of snatching the pencil from each other, what we're going to do is, while one person is rolling the dice, the other person will be at the board, and when we yell 6, we're going to get up, we'll run to the board, and we'll start answering the questions. The other person will come back, they'll roll the dice, try to get 6, and then we'll continue that process back and forth until one person completes their problems. So instead of me talking about it, why don't you go ahead and take a look at us playing the game 6, and then we want you to do this at home, and you can enjoy all of the fun that we're having by playing this game 6. It's an awesome game. Okay, so here's our game board for 6. And remember, because of social distance, we're going to make sure that we're practicing safe social distance and still being able to have fun with our game 6. So with that being said, I'm going to start off rolling the dice, and Ms. Cole is going to start solving problems. You ready? And go. 6. 6.
6.
Come on. Really? 6? Really? For real? Come on.
Now that we have finished playing our game and Team Cole Gallo won, we are going to check through our problems to make sure that we went through the work correctly. All right? So, first thing we're going to do is identify our signs, and then we're going to determine if the signs are the same or different. All right? Number 1, I have a -8 and a +3. Those signs are different. Number 2, we have a -9 and a +2. Those signs are different. We both are correct so far. The next one, okay. When we have a number that does not have a sign, always remember that sign is positive. So I have a +3 and a -8. That means those two signs are different. Coach, I notice you have the same for number 3. I think you might have gotten confused when you seen the -8 and replaced the negative for a -3. Next, we have a +6 again and a -10, which means those signs are different. Again, we have the same error. One thing we know about this error, this is a common misconception. So always remember, if there is no sign in front of the number, that number is always a positive number. All right, number 5, we have a -3 and a +7. Those signs are different. Again, here's our misconception. We have a +9 and a -15. Those signs are different. Number 7, we have a -7 and a -3. Guess what? That is our first question where the signs are the Same. We have two negatives. All right, number 8, we have a negative 13 and a positive 2. Those signs are different. Number 9, we have a negative 6, negative 4. Those are same. Again, common misconception, this is a positive 18, even though that positive sign is not written. So we have a positive 18 and a negative 5. Those signs are different. Coming to the other side, again, misconception, positive 11, positive 9. Those two signs are the same. We have a negative 9 and a negative 4. Those signs are the same. Negative 11 and a positive 6. Those signs are different. Misconception, this is a positive 17 and a negative 3. Those signs are different. Have a negative 2 and a positive 8. Those signs are different. We have a negative 9 and a positive 7. Those signs are different. My misconception rule, we have a positive 6 and a negative 12. Those signs are different. All right, misconception again, we have a positive 13 and a positive 3. Those signs are the same. Number 19, we have a negative 8 and a negative 4. Those signs are the same. And last but not least, we have a negative 1 and a negative 2. Those signs are the same. So now I'm going to go through and make sure that my answers are correct and Coach Stevens' answers are correct also. And as I look, I believe I actually won. Now, we are going to extend your knowledge on adding and subtracting integers by continuing to play the game 6. This next game is directly aligned with learning objectives 3 and 4. We will be determining if we add or subtract the integers and identifying the sign of the final answer. And since I won the last game, I will be the first to roll my dice. You ready, Coach?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do better this time.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 6. 6. 6. Come on, Team Gallo. Come on. 6.
6. She is not playing fair.
social distancing. 6. I was almost done. 6. Finish.
All right, so Cole Gallo's team, they're being what we call gracious winners and allowing us to go ahead and go over the answers even though we did not win. Again, they're going to let us go over these answers with you all out there. Okay, so looking at our first number, we have a negative and a positive. That's letting us know that we should be subtracting. And 8 minus 3 is 5. We take the sign of the largest number, which is negative. So negative 5 and negative 5. So we're both good there. Number 2, negative 9, positive 2. Again, those signs are different, letting us know that we should be subtracting. And 9 minus 2 is 7 with the negative. And I see on mine, I was actually in a little bit of a rush. So I actually added because I saw this plus sign but didn't take into account both signs. And I got 11 where I should have gotten negative 7. Number 3. From our earlier activity, we remember that when a number doesn't have a sign, this sign is positive, this is negative, so those are different. So we're going to subtract, giving us 5 with a negative, negative 5. Okay, number 4, positive, negative, signs are different. So again, we're going to subtract, and that gives us 4 with the sign of the biggest number being negative, and again, negative 4. So we're both looking like we're doing well. Negative 3. Positive 7, signs again are different, so we're subtracting, and that gives us 7 minus 3 is 4, with the biggest number being positive, so positive 4, positive 4. Number 6, number doesn't have a sign in front of it, so again, that sign is positive. So we have a positive 6, negative 15. Those two signs are different, so we're going to subtract and get 15 minus 6 is 6. And take the sign of the larger number, which is negative. And I see on mine, I left off my negative, so the correct answer should have been negative 6, which again, we see Miss Cole was correct in getting that. That's why she won. Number 7, negative 7, negative 3. Those signs are the same. So when they're the same, what do? We're going to add, and that gives us 10. Taking the sign of the largest number, which is negative 10. And we both were correct with negative 10. Number 8, sign is negative, sign is positive. They're different, so we're going to, subtract. And that gives us 11 with the sign of the biggest number, making that negative 11 and negative 11. Okay, I'm doing a little better. Negative 6, negative 4. They're the same, so we're adding, giving us 10. Taking the sign of the largest number, negative 10. Negative 10. All right, how did I get off? I'm sorry, on number 9, I subtracted. This is negative 6 and negative 4. I should have added. I actually subtracted on number 9 and got negative 2. And the correct answer again is negative 10. Number 10, we have a positive 18 and a negative 5. Subtracting those, that gives us 13. Positive. All right, I'm back on track. Number 11, positive 9, positive 11, positive 9 gives us 20. And it looks like we were both correct with getting 20. Number 12, negative 9, negative 4. That's the same sign, so we're going to add, giving us negative 13. Number 13. We have a negative 11, a positive 6. Those signs are different, so we're going to subtract, giving us 5. Taking the sign of the largest number, making that negative 5, which is as far as I was able to get. So we'll continue to look at Ms. Cole's answers. So for number 14, We have a positive 17, a negative 3, giving us a 14 because we're going to subtract. And that's what she has, positive 14. Negative 2, positive 8, those signs are the same. No, I'm sorry, those signs are different. That's why I was messing up. Those signs are different. So that means we're going to subtract, giving us 6 and taking the sign of the larger number. Number 16, negative 9, positive 7, signs are different. So that gives us a subtraction problem, which is 2, and taking the sign of the largest number, negative 2, which is what she has. Who was your teacher? You're awesome. Okay, number 17, we have positive 6, negative 12, and we're going to subtract those because the signs are different, and that gives us negative 6. Number 18, 13 is positive, 3 is positive. Those signs are the same, so we're going to add, giving us positive 16. Number 19, we have a negative 8 and a negative 4. Those two signs are the same, so once again, we're going to add, giving us negative 12. And then finally, negative 1 and negative 2. Those two signs are the same, so once again, we're going to add, and that gives us negative 3. Wow, she got all 20 of those correct. So I would like to say again, who was your teacher? Because whoever they was, they did an awesome job. This was great. Now, I want to make one thing here for you all. We say this is negative 1 minus 2, and we say that these signs are the same, but remember, this is a negative, this is a subtraction, and when we say the signs are the same, all we mean is that the subtraction sign has the same behavior with the number as the negative sign, meaning that they're both going to be moving in the same direction, so this is why we use the term the signs are the same. Okay, just to clarify exactly what we mean by that. But again, Ms. Cole Gallo, awesome job, awesome job. Wow, I can't say it enough. Great job.
For our last and final activity, we'll be playing a card game called Integer Wars. Integer Wars is a culminating activity combining all our learning objectives taught today. Throughout the day, we have been maintaining social distance, and here it is no different. We have modified this game to maintain safe social distancing.
Now, there are a couple of versions of this game. First version I'm going to go over with you is the high-paced version. This is more for advanced students who are very skilled with their facts and they can move at a higher pace. So the way this game works is each player is going to turn over a card and throw it to the middle. So myself, Ms. Cole, we throw our cards to the middle, and whomever answers the question first would be the winner, and they would get to take the card. So we would throw these two cards out and yell out 11. So I got it correct. So keeping our social distance, I would grab the cards, then we would each throw out a card. Negative 10, I got it correct. So, and then this process would continue, and then let's say at this point, we both yelled out at the same time, negative 5, which would cause a war. So then we would count, 1, 2, war. And she would do the same thing and end up throwing out a card, and whomever answered that question the fastest, that person would get to snatch all of the cards. So we do this and we go through the cards, and at the end of the round, whichever player ends up with the most cards, they're going to be the winner of that round of Integer Wars. So that being said, Ms. Cole is going to join me and we're going to get started and go through a round of Integer Wars. Hope you guys enjoy. 4, positive 4. 0.
0. Negative 4. Negative.
Positive 2. Same. Ready? 1, 2, war.
6.
4.
Negative 3.
Positive 7.
0.
Ain't that same? Come on. 1, 2, war.
3.
Negative 3.
3.
Negative 3.
Negative 2.
Positive 2.
17.
Negative
2.
Come on, Jay.
All right.
Negative 4. Negative 4. Same.
I only got one card.
Okay.
Ward, turn it over. Ward.
Okay.
All right, come on.
Okay, Ward. Ready? Ward.
-1.
All right. How many cards you got?
I don't know.
All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. We both got 20. There's a tie. All right, here we go. Do it again. You ready?
Okay.
And go. Negative 6. War, same. 1, 2, war. Positive 5. Same. 1, 2, war.
-2.
Okay, come on.
Okay.
Negative
15.
10. Negative 4. 9.
-2.
Positive 2.
Oh yeah, it is positive. That's black.
7. Same. 1, 2, war.
-8.
Oh man, she killing it. 16.
Oh, you always get positive numbers. Okay. -2.
She killing me this round. -1. Same. Boy, ready? -13. Come on, we got one more.
Okay.
Turn them over, grab a card. Okay, so I was only able to accumulate 10 cards that round where she got 30. So this has not been a good day for Team Stevens as we're, I think now 0 for 3. That's all right, but you can see this game can generate a lot of fun. All right, so in this version of the game, this is for students who are going to need a little more time to calculate the answers. Okay, but it's still going to be just as much fun. So we play the cards and then we work out the answers at our desk. Compare answers. What did you get?
-9.
I got -9 also. So since we both got the answer correct, the cards stay in the middle. We go again. What you get?
-6.
I got -6.
I'm writing too big.
All right, what you get?
What was 6 and 5?
Yes,
11.
I got 11. So notice the cards are staying in the middle and they continue to pile up. All right, what did you get on that one?
I got -3.
I got -13. Okay, -5, -8 signs are the same, so you're supposed to add. That should be negative.
It's a +5.
Oh.
Wrong card.
So since I got it right, I get to collect all the cards, and we continue this process. So this process will continue. We'll work that out. All right, what did you get?
-6.
-6. And then again, we will continue this process until all the cards were exhausted. And just like in the game before, whomever ends up with the most cards is going to be the winner of this game. So again, this is another way that you can play the game, Integer Wars. This just isn't as fast-paced. This gives students an opportunity to still have fun playing the game, but gives them time to calculate their correct answers. Okay, so again, you can enjoy this game. Ms. Cole, good job.
All right, Coach, we have Mike on the line. He says our lesson was wonderful and he learned a lot, but he wants to know, when will we use integers in the real world? Can you think of some times we use integers in the real world? Many of my sports fans use integers daily to know the happenings of a game or player statistics. For an example, we use integers when we think about the quarterback sack. A quarterback sack is a loss of yards, which will result in a negative number. Or we might use integers when it comes to a Hail Mary pass. A Hail Mary pass will cause a gain of yards, and a gain is considered as a positive number. There are many other ways we use integers, such as checking the temperature. Coach, do you know anything about temperature and integers?
You're right, Ms. Cole. I can definitely talk to you guys in Texas about temperature, because in Texas, you guys only know one temperature, hot. But in Michigan, we have days where the temperature gets 10 degrees below zero. Below zero, that would be represented as a negative number. So if it's negative 10 degrees and the temperature drops another 2 degrees, well, that's negative 10 minus 2, which leaves us at negative 12 degrees. That's bone chilling, and I don't think anybody from Texas would want to experience that. But Ms. Cole, integers is also used with your money and your bank account.
You're right. We do also use integers with our bank account. If I go to the bank and make a deposit into my account, that means I am placing money in. That is represented as a positive number. Or if I decide to take money out, that is called a withdrawal. A withdrawal is represented as a negative number. But you never want your bank account to be in the negative. So, as you go throughout your day, start looking around for integer numbers. They are all around us, and we use them every day. Now we have come to the final part of our lesson, where we want you as a learner to evaluate your skills that we have taught today. We have started back with the first original problems, and we have now given you the answers for you to cross-reference. Please check your work, and I'm absolutely sure you are 100% successful today.
All right, we'd like to thank everybody for participating with us in this lesson on integers. We really want to thank all of our callers that called in. Chelsea, Kendall from Alabama, I think John from Washington, Mike Stafford. We even had Miss Eve from Wichita, Kansas. So we really, really, truly appreciate you guys being with us on this lesson on integers, and we hope you guys are now proficient with integers. So we like to close out. The math department always gets a bad rap about not being able to have a command of the English language. So the challenge was put to me to put a little rap together for you guys, showing that math people really do understand the English language. So I did this little poem for you guys called Addicted to Math. And it goes as such. I turn students into addicts, addicted to math, but it's inevitable after a day in my class. Mesmerized by a speech that demonstrates my conviction, every lesson I teach exacerbates an addiction, worse than nicotine, because an insatiable thirst for learning is what they fiend. Now they try to be high in society. So what do they see in me? It's my mathematical deity that supplies their habit with every slip of my tongue. And my knowledge, they grab it. But when their fix is all done, they begin to convulse as they crave another one. But they have to wait, because it takes time to design a lesson to engage a young mind. With incessant demands, I write a lesson plan, architect in effect. The kids say, oh man, they sit there and wait. Don't want my class to be done, as they anticipate for tomorrow to come. And when tomorrow comes, guys, we'll see you all tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Hope you all enjoyed our lesson. Take care.
Thank you again for all the continued support for our students. We hope that you've enjoyed this program today. Be sure to follow us on social media and check out our website for more educational updates. Once again, I'm Dr. Robert Bostic, and now you are in the know with some news that you and your family can use.